Okay. Next, we need to do our ethics paper. So, the other class assigned your ethics paper for you.
I was wondering when this was going to happen.
Today is the day. So we're going to do on, what did I choose? Piracy. There we go.
Piracy?
Yar.
Like on the seas?
Yes.
Let's go Bucks.
I really feel like whenever
Not all right.
a torrent client loads up, it should just have a pirate accent the whole way. Yar. All right.
Imagine that for a GPS system.
Huh?
Imagine that for a GPS system.
Okay, let's see. So there's people who are for piracy and there's people that are against. Usually the people on the free side say that information is free and protected under the First Amendment. On the other hand, there are reports that software piracy, what? Monies. Yeah, something about money and needing money to live and pay people so they have jobs.
Yes, you could fight the people on the free side saying that information's free. Well, if information's free, then the government has a right to know what you're doing then. If information is free, because that's your information, and there's the open.
Yes.
So,
Why do I feel like the Fourth Amendment has to do with software piracy?
Fourth Amendment. I haven't actually pulled in the Fourth Amendment to this one. But go ahead. I'd like to hear your.
Well, with
You're
ours-
free to give you all your opinions. Go ahead.
In the paper.
And now I have no. We're talking about it. So you're free to give all your
Yeah,
opinions. And
this is
I'll
one of
sit
the
here
few
and
times
listen.
I actually talk about politics. With search and seizure, software piracy, you're taking it as somebody else's. That's a point of view right there. Edward Snowden kind of brought that to light when he released all the classified documents. Am I wrong? That could be used as an application.
So wait, what did Snowden release? It was a lot of released a lot of classified documents.
Prism,
About what was it?
software data,
Software data.
like Facebook messages and emails.
Right.
Can that count as piracy from the government by the?
Okay, so piracy here, I guess you could count it as piracy. I didn't think of it that way. Because you're stealing information. Sure.
Sure.
All right.
What's your? Okay, you're gonna be implying this. What's your opinion on this?
I'm not supposed to take one.
We're not allowed.
No. We're not allowed to take an opinion?
No, he's not allowed. But we're not allowed to know his opinion because we have to make our own opinion.
Thank you.
Teachers influence opinions.
I have to try and remain neutral, even though I will fail miserably. I have to try and remain neutral.
I'm supposed to remain neutral, but.
But it's not going to happen.
I
It's
mean,
like, how you
that
feel about
debate we got
Spitboard
in
now,
last
don't
semester.
What was the debate of?
The debate about the FBI with
Oh,
Hillary.
yeah.
That mess last semester.
What was the software?
I think we spent almost the entire class debating that.
I hope so. That'd be great. Let's do that again. Where's everyone else?
Where's Tyler?
Yep.
He's still in Java.
Yes.
Wow. Brutal here.
God.
All right. So software piracy is usually defined as illegal copying, distribution, or use of software. So what did it say? A study in 2011 determined that 57% of people confess to some sort of software piracy. Do you think that number's higher or low?
What are we talking about with software piracy?
That would be illegal copying, distribution, or use of software, aka breaking the software agreement they agree to when you use
What
the
type of software?
Yeah.
Any.
Any?
Any.
I think that that's low.
Yeah.
It does say the word confess.
Confess, then maybe.
I see what you're trying to do.
Who says I broke the law?
Still a little low.
You can't prove it.
You can't prove nothing.
Some people might be like, oh no, I didn't take anything wrong, and then it's like, no, you illegally
You
download
did
music
this,
all
you
the
did
time.
this, you did this, you did that.
Yeah, and they just don't want to admit it.
Ta-da.
So that number's probably, in reality, if it wasn't
Yeah.
confessed, it'd be higher.
Yeah.
So in general, this piracy is related to copying and distributing software illegally. So what justification do people have for pirating?
It costs too much to buy the regular thing.
No. Well, can you tell me an example of one of those?
Movies.
Movies?
Source code should
Well,
be
like,
free. Information should
Wait, hold on.
movies, music.
Movie's not that bad. Just go to the bargain bin for $5, right?
Well,
Or,
technically,
like,
if
old
you get
movies.
Then just wait. Really, you're that impatient?
if you get movies from overseas, like, cause everything that's like, everything like media and stuff like that, it's free game in like Japan and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So a lot of people get like movies and stuff like that from over there.
Okay.
They can't do anything about it because technically with their laws, it's free game. So
Hmm.
Japan's awesome.
yeah.
So in other words, I need to start shopping in Japan.
Yes.
I already buy things from there, so.
You could get a lot
What's
of
the shipping cost?
It depends on the
Expensive.
size.
It's international shipping.
No. My wife has bought stuff from China.
Yeah, it's not.
It's. I think she paid
It's better than
$3
freaking
for the
shipping
whole
from
thing.
Arizona.
And she was getting like a little stuffed animal.
It's better than shipping from Arizona.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of messed
Like
up.
Arizona, I bought something from Arizona and it was like $14 shipping. I buy something from like Taiwan and it's like $3.
I'll walk there and get it myself.
You walk all the way.
Paying $14.
Walking on water now, are we?
It's funny though. It's funny though how you could spend like $100, but then like $9 shipping and handling, you're like, oh.
You
I bought
can't
something.
take it. Ah!
Like, dang that
I bought
$9.
something and it was like $20 and it was like $14 shipping. If you buy something that's like $100, it's $14 shipping. I'm like, they're different sizes. Yeah.
So what's it costs too much. Any others?
That's the main one.
Hmm?
That's the main one.
That's the main one. Costs too much. Money. Oh.
Money is always the.
That doesn't make sense. Can you further clarify, since they consider software to be information, it is protected under the First Amendment? How is that protected?
Okay, then say
How is that protected under the First Amendment?
So on the extreme side of software piracy, people believe that there's nothing wrong. Software is stored as data information, and information should be set free, is what they believe,
Freedom.
for anyone to use. Since they consider software to be strictly information, it's protected under the First Amendment. They further state they would not buy software in here anyway, so there's no harm done to the manufacturer.
Except that they don't get money.
I think
That's
it's
their
like,
main
it's a story, just like a story that you're reporting on, you're free to distribute it, is what they believe.
Oh. Okay. I have a very different interpretation of it, but that's more of a cultural interpretation. Having to do with trolling.
I love troll. Yeah?
Yeah, we all know
When you
you're
silence
a-
others,
Oh, it's so fun.
when you silence others, you're kind of silencing, kind of destroying your own First Amendment, right?
You're silencing others.
You're blocking them
Blocking them.
on Facebook.
You block people on Facebook?
I don't have Facebook.
I barely use it.
I go on there to see family pictures. That's it.
Oh, I go on there to see the fights.
I go on there to see all the funny posts and then I share the funny
Right,
posts.
the fights, yeah.
No,
Find
no,
find a
no.
picture of 3 girls and say you two look great, and then just sit back and watch.
Not you too. Say you look great.
Yeah.
And then
Say,
we
"Oh,
can
you
figure
look
out
great."
who it is.
Jonah.
We'll just watch them fight it out.
But yeah, I do for the funny posts
That's
as
all you
well.
gotta
There's
do.
some good ones out there.
Yeah.
Inciting fights.
I'm reading one right now.
Say 2 of the 3 girls look hot. Oh man. What the 3
That third one, oh, I just said like
You
that.
two look 3, but that third one, God.
Just make sure it's of the 3 of them, it's the 2 lesser attractive ones.
Alright, enough of that. Okay. Their last point is, they state that they would not buy the software anyway, so there is no harm done to the manufacturer.
What?
Well, they say they're not gonna buy Windows, because they just use Linux.
Well,
Buy.
Windows is right
They
there.
can give
A
it-
window is right there. So they want to buy Windows. How stupid can these software developers be?
There's plenty of Windows. Hey, these things cost money. Can we steal them from the dump? I don't think so. Might be.
I was trying to be sarcastic.
Yeah, I know.
He's not being sarcastic.
I don't think you understand trolling yet.
No, and I don't hope to either.
The first one to admit it loses.
So I lost. So be
That's the
it.
game. That's the game. Alright. Anyways, Oh yeah, so they believe there's no harm done to the manufacturer. Do y'all think there's no harm done to the manufacturer?
They
No,
don't
there
get
is harm done
money.
to the manufacturer.
Okay.
They don't get money.
All right, so let's go down. Naturally, the other side contends that piracy has cost businesses a lot of money, namely, what was that, 239.9 billion, 42,000 jobs, and a lot of tax, almost 7 billion in tax revenue between 02 and 12. Additionally, software is not protected under the First Amendment as the information of software is distributed under a license agreement and prohibits copying distribution to unauthorized individuals. Most contend that software piracy is not a victimless crime and people should be paid for the work they put in.
But there's already also licensing when it comes to open source software. So there is alternatives, and there is kind of that middle ground as well.
We could have gone to software licensing. That would be interesting. BSD versus GPL.
Wait, say that again?
BSD versus GPL. That would be a good conversation. Didn't think of that.
Is this like a flame war between like Vim and Emacs?
Yes, everything's a flame war. Windows, Linux, gotta have your flame wars.
I'm surprised you didn't say Mac.
Whatever. We don't even consider that one. All right. No more comments? Falling asleep? Good. All right. Well, this may seem clear cut to some people. This guy, Roderick Long, I don't remember who exactly he is, but he had a fun little story. Suppose you're trapped at the bottom of a ravine and saber-toothed tigers are approaching you hungrily. Your only hope is to quickly construct a levitation device that I've recently invented. You know how it works because you attended my public lecture I gave on the topic, and it's easy to construct quite rapidly out of materials you see lying around in the ravine.
What?
But here's the problem. I've patented my levitation device. I own it. Not just the individual model I built, but the universal. Thus you can't construct your means of escape without using my property. And I, the mean old skinflint, aka my turn, that I am, refuse to give you permission, and therefore the tigers will dine well.
That's an extreme story.
It really is.
That isn't extreme.
This is like one of those
Okay.
philosophy
Tigers in the
scenarios
ravine.
where it's like with the cart, it's like you either choose 3 people or 5 people.
This is a false analogy.
It's a hypothetical scenario, so why should I even answer when it's
Deserve
not
to be
real?
eaten.
Well, right. So naturally this is an extreme analogy to show a point, but next question, could software copy?
Why is he in a ravine? And why are there saber-tooth
It was just a story.
It's an analogy.
It's an analogy.
Since the scenario is extremely unlikely, I'm gonna go with the fact that magic is also real in that sense, and that I could be like Harry Potter and I just
I
act
can't
like
have full
I'm
You haven't
flowers
figured
out
out
of
magic
magic
yet.
mesmerize
You
this.
only know levitation. That's all you have time to figure out.
Just get a broomstick.
What if the saber
Well, how do you know the broomsticks
for
are
love?
the secret to magic? Could be something else. And what's your question?
I said, what if the saber-toothed tigers were hungry for love?
For
Whoa.
They just
Ride
wanted
a
to be
saber-tooth
pet.
tiger.
Wow. Okay, we're taking this a completely different direction.
Just saying.
Could software copyright protection lead to an individual death?
Well, considering I don't think
Depends.
software is gonna help you escape a saber-toothed tiger that's hungry.
Yeah, but what would be a something in software that'd be like, well, I'm just gonna put a stick all day long?
Okay.
Sticks are fun.
How long does
This
this have to be?
class.
2 pages, 12-point font, double space, Times New Roman.
Easy.
That does not include your references.
All you see is references.
How many references?
3. Wow.
Just
Just
asking.
use references.
What format?
Don't care. Consistent format, actually.
So you can't switch between like.
MLA and APA?
Nobody
No,
would.
you just have to be consistent.
That would drive me insane.
All right.
Oh god.
Could software copyright protection lead to an individual death? Individual death? Anyone?
You mean individual creative death?
Maybe in like a super rare case.
Okay, what would be the super rare case?
Like if I'm working for the mob and I like have to get this thing done, and they're like, "We're gonna get you if you don't do it," and the only way to do it is to like build this levitation device, but I can't.
No, software side.
Oh, well, if I need the software and I
Okay.
can't get it, then they're like, wait. I don't know.
Then you'll be sleeping with the fishes?
Yeah, I'll be sleeping with the fishes.
Like, sorry, it's
Johnny,
patent
take care of
I think I know how
Be
it
like,
works.
sorry, it's copyrighted, can't touch it.
Yeah.
Oh well, you're dead.
And patented.
They don't care if it's copyrighted.
Yes?
Would you, never mind.
Yes.
Would you care if I added a book by Arn Ron?
Why do you always bring that up?
Oh.
Sure, go ahead.
Why the hell do I have a dog hair on my leg?
No one? So what about medical equipment? What if the software is keeping someone's heart beating?
That's a real problem, and that's a real question. That's fair. I don't know the answer
Let's
to that.
debate it in our papers.
Why don't we debate it right now?
This isn't as fun to debate as last year's.
It's because we're debating on whether or not it's legal for
I don't know, I
somebody
feel like
to
you have to be
patent
pretty
some
heartless to be
software
like,
so
"No!"
that somebody can die.
Well, there's legal and then there's ethics, right? So we have to.
Just because something is legal doesn't mean it's ethical.
Right.
If I create computer software and I'm an employee of a company, sometimes the actual company would own the software,
Right.
which is unethical.
Ooh, why do you say so?
Because you use your time, your effort, and probably your money to create that software. Sure, you've gotten training from the actual company itself, but they want you to create certain software for the company. Whatever you do off of the company's time is your time, not theirs.
What if you do it on the company's equipment?
Just don't
It
do
depends if they allow you to keep it or if it's only being borrowed. If it's being borrowed, I could see it being owned by the company.
Yeah, but companies like that normally, like, when you actually, like, get the job and you sign it, like, you sign something that says, like, anything you come up with is ours. Like, if you work for them, like, any idea you have is theirs, sometimes.
Okay.
Solid answer.
Pikachu.
Okay.
Next.
Oh.
What if you created a bee tree? Does that pull?
I don't think we have to do any coding.
All right, hold on. That's true. You don't have to do any coding for this assignment.
I don't think.
Thank you, Jonah.
Best
But you said
project
something about a
ever.
bee tree.
It's a little about a bee tree. What are we gonna do?
Best project ever.
So the other class had an interesting comment here. They said if
The
you-
other class.
Yeah, you know,
Java.
OLP, Java.
The lesser
You
Java.
gave the same one to Java.
There's only one. I'm only doing one ethics paper a semester. Okay, y'all all are doing the same one.
Wait, who made the comment? Oh wait, you can't say. My bad, my bad.
I'll ask someone.
Are you next?
I can ask
me
people-
exactly the time and date, how I was feeling at that time, and if
Yes,
the weather
yes, I
outside
will.
was good.
How does that make you
And how,
Where was
how
the sun?
outside.
What did the
What,
wait,
what
wait.
angle was that?
What angle depends on my angle.
Very true. Very true.
All right, so they were mentioning that if it was not copyrighted and open source, then more people could be open to find errors. And if it's a piece of health equipment that's trying to keep your heart beating, if someone finds an error, but they pirated your software, should they report the error and get in trouble? So let me roll back. You know, you copyright your software, you're not allowed to have it. Someone pirates it and then finds an error that says, hey, people could die under this situation. If they say, here's the patch for it, and send it to the company can technically, you know, I don't know, seek legal action, I'll put it that way, against them because they pirated the software.
Wait, it also depends upon what license. Is it the GPL license or the BSD license?
This is not open source. We're saying that the company has their own proprietary license and you may not distribute it to anyone who has not purchased it. Plus, it's probably closed source, so they probably got access to the source code somehow. Like hacked it. So should legal action be taken against that person?
He should work for the company. He's able to get into their source code.
I don't know if legal action would be giving them a job.
He should instead be work for the company. Okay, I mean that's one
If he was
opinion.
able to get into their source code
Google does that.
and understand their source code.
Dragons exist.
I've been saying that for a while.
They just found a dragon skeleton up in Iceland.
Wait, no, dragons. Yeah, they
They found a
existed.
couple.
I thought that was well proven. Maybe
Yeah.
they're the dinosaurs.
No,
Same
no, no,
thing.
no. Like they're not saying dinosaurs. Like this one is like 60 feet with, or it has a wingspan of over 60 feet, which is not like the velociraptors or anything. Like this is like a legit.
Oh, dragons
Dragon
for me
from the
fell into the category
movies.
of dinosaur.
Yeah, dragons, dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Wait, dragons actually existed in real life? I thought they were just.
Dinosaurs.
Like they're saying dinosaurs. No, like a dragon skeleton has been discovered
Yeah,
in
it-
Iceland. Scientists
I
discovered
mean, even
remains
back
of
probably
routine
50
oil
years, they were
extraction,
dinosaur, dragon
which
are
had
pretty
partially
much interchangeable.
melted ice subsided.
We, for some reason, have tried to
Has a
distinguish the two
wingspan of
somehow.
60 feet.
Yeah, I
5
don't really
times
know
that
why.
of the largest living bird, the albatross.
okay.
The largest tooth is 12 inches long.
All right, so I can see everyone really cares about this
And
topic.
it's female.
All right,
Maybe
so
it
the,
was dragon software.
another topic is about the copyright agreement. While most of us are familiar with copying distribution, software piracy includes any time you violate the software agreement. This has become a serious issue with DRM and recently with streaming movies. So DRM, how many of y'all have dealt with this? Isn't this y'all's generation where you had to deal with this growing up and y'all became very angry and wanted to, I don't know, riot or something?
I always want to watch TV shows.
I wouldn't be riot.
Well, I mean, we just had rioting for the last presidential election, right?
Dumb.
Yeah, but that happens every election.
There's no need to riot.
There's no need to riot. Okay. Is there ever a need to riot?
Mm,
No, okay, good.
well, it depends. If
Everything could be handled in a civil way.
Could
No.
be. Is it going to be?
No.
No.
That's the idealist way of looking at things.
We all just get along.
Yeah.
All right. Y'all familiar with DRM? Do I need to define it?
What's DRM? Digital.
Digital rights management, essentially access controls that manufacturers place on their legitimate software to prevent users from software piracy. Most proponents say it's necessary to protect intellectual property. Others say that DRM only inconveniences the end user and does not successfully stop software piracy. As your generation, which had to really deal with DRM, what have you experienced?
SOPA, CISPA, which basically, if it was passed, it would give
Oh,
movie,
that one, yes.
it would give movie companies a lot more power. And if you even posted one YouTube video of a video game, you could get flagged by the DRM. It would destroy literally the whole gaming industry on YouTube because it was so broadly defined.
Okay.
If I remember.
They do that now. A lot of people got in trouble for playing Zelda Breath of the Wild on YouTube.
Really?
Yeah, if they didn't have Nintendo copyrights, like if Nintendo wasn't sponsoring them, and their video got flagged and removed if they did it.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
Videos
That was a
get
lot of
flagged
people were
for
yelling-
having
a lot of
music
people-
on
I'm thinking
it,
more
too.
on one. Sorry.
A lot of videos get flagged and taken down because of music too, or they'll just cut the audio.
Yeah, if you don't
on it.
put a like where you got the music from, they'll copyright you and they'll take your video down.
Hmm.
A lot of YouTubers have run into that issue. Just put the stinking link to where you got it.
Yeah, you can put it like super, super tiny where nobody would ever see it, but
You
it'd still
literally
be
just
like,
have
there
to
it
put
is.
You literally just have to put it like in the description. Just like
Yeah.
put where you got it from. Give credit to the people, and then they don't flag you.
What's even worse than getting flagged is demonetizing your videos. If I use music and I do YouTube for a living and I use my own music and somebody decides to flag it out of the blue, it becomes demonetized, I don't get that money.
Craig just wants his money.
Yeah.
But yes, it's I see.
Yeah.
So okay, all right. So do you think DRM has helped any?
No.
Probably a little bit.
I mean, there's always going to be abuse of DRM.
I mean, there's laws against everything if people break them. So, I mean, this is just another case.
Yeah, my favorite was someone looked up because it's like, well, how do you across countries, who's going to how do you enforce these DRM laws, intellectual property laws? cross country, and she looked it up, and apparently the UN it has said don't do it. And I go,
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
So how are we going to enforce that?
I'm gonna tell a story. So I was a senior in high school and I was taking AP Computer Science.
They have an AP class for computer science?
They have 2 of them. The
What?
first, yes. The
We
first,
didn't have that.
the first one is basically procedural programming. The next one is about how to make websites pretty. But I digress. Go ahead.
And oh, the irony, it was in Java.
Yep.
And what happened was, at that same time, the iPad usage was coming in from my high school. We were one of the first in the nation to actually get iPads for like the freshmen in the freshman class.
Okay.
And so, my professor, my teacher, who also has a master's degree in computer science and was the principal of the school at the time, was saying that over 90% of people use the iPads correctly. They don't go on other websites when they're on the Wi-Fi. That being said, I do believe with the licensing and kind of using around that 90% plus, a lot of people would use it mostly responsibly, but there always will be that little bit of abuse. So why have a law when already most people follow it?
We don't
Okay.
have laptops at my old time.
Okay. Right. Because they're trying to stop the people that don't follow the law.
My computer
So you
science
think the
We have
DRM really
laws
hasn't
against
helped any?
people hurting
No,
other
it
people
doesn't really.
for them.
Now the other example they were talking about is with Valve and Blizzard's DRM. You can't play your game unless you're online.
That's annoying.
Blizzard.
I don't
Okay,
play
Blizzard made some good video games, but
I don't play Blizzard games.
StarCraft.
I played StarCraft 2, and then I'm done.
I played StarCraft 1 back in the
I
day.
played that and I'm done.
I mean, I played the first
They
one.
made Overwatch.
Yeah, but that one's DRM too. I can't take it. I can't stand the way they try to protect it. So I'm not gonna.
What about EA Games?
Yeah, that one's so much.
The only thing they got going for them was Battlefield.
Sims.
You never played The Sims?
No, like it was a good one. That was a
I
really.
told
Ryan
you
is
would-
obsessed with the Sims.
You have to do sleepwalkers and go.
In their
You
face.
could meet somebody and get married and have a kid within like
I love how the
an
kid
hour.
does nothing. Yes. Put in the game.
Literally.
It does nothing.
Yeah, I have one of the Sims games. I think I have 3 or
And then if you
4.
don't like get to your baby within like 3 cries, some like social workers just like, I'm coming to take the baby, and you're like, right?
In the Sims game, I'm a painter.
You're what?
A painter.
Painter? I was professor until I just accidentally discovered one of my my research papers. They found out that I was confiding with the mafia, so I then switched over to the thief, whatever the thief track was, and was a criminal mastermind.
Nice.
Yeah, I think Brian. and
What are you
me
trying to
played-
tell
I went from professor to criminal mastermind. Okay.
You're
I
at the
think
professor
Brian was,
stage
like,
now.
working
I'm
in a
worried about you.
chemistry
Hmm?
I think Brian was like working in like a chemistry lab in it. I'm like, you don't even like chemistry.
I love how the crime one was just, oh, it's just standard job, going to work.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah, no, what was it? I never really got into any of the newer ones where you have such like a wide range of jobs. So it was I always sent my people into the military because it paid best.
In the beginning, it paid best.
Yeah, in the
And then
beginning. And then they got really mad whenever I'd miss a day of work because I had a baby that I had to take over for like 5 days. And one of my people always ended up getting fired. And that was always really bad about keeping their happiness meter full.
We had cats.
I probably eventually made all my Sims fall into severe depression.
I just made one giant house with a bed and a fridge.
Spent way too much time on the house.
Sounds
It
like
makes
my
it funny.
house.
Just one
Just
giant
one
room,
house, bed,
one giant
fridge.
room, bed, fridge, and my guy got angry because he never showered. So I had to save up for a shower.
We had a bathtub outside.
See, I always
the
use
house.
the cheat codes, the mother load. No, I made a bathroom. I like
No, we
full
had like
on
a bathroom
design
with like a shower,
house.
but like the bathtub was outside.
All right, so next
No, I
one.
had a hot tub outside. We had a bathtub
Just
in the
bathtub.
house.
More recent, as I try and dig through things. What is it? A more recent issue comes with video streaming. So VidAngel's a video streaming service started in 2014 that allows users to stream movies with objectionable objectionable content removed. Most of the removal is cleanup of the movie, removing graphic violence, nudity, and profanity. Due to how the Digital Millennium Copyright Act works, VidAngel buys each movie DVD via DVD or Blu-ray and sells them to their users with the content filter. When the user is done, VidAngel buys the movie back at cost minus $1. In other words, they make $1 off of streaming this movie to you with content filter, is the way it works. But they have physical copies of each movie, in a giant vault, a DVD, all the DVDs and Blu-ray, depending on what quality
Wait,
you want.
so you pay $1.
No, you pay $20 to stream the movie. When you're done with it, VidAngel buys it back from you for $19.
So technically, yeah, you pay.
You pay it. You essentially pay $1, but you might have $20 out at a time.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Yep.
I don't know. Their commercials are pretty awesome.
They are pretty funny. They are hilarious. What the heaven?
I've never seen a commercial for them.
Oh, you haven't? They're on
It's
Facebook a lot.
hilarious.
See, I don't go on Facebook.
So VidAngel claims that the Family Entertainment and Copyright Act gives them permission to sanitize movies. Hollywood, on the other hand, says that they are a streaming service and have illegally circumvented streaming agreements, and therefore are illegal. Did I say the word illegal enough? What do you believe is a service illegal and is a service ethical?
They found the
Very good question.
loophole.
Found the loophole. Okay, but is it illegal?
I think it's
Is it unethical or ethical? You. Come on, guys, work with me here. I'm trying.
What they're doing, what they're trying to do is good.
They're trying to provide movies.
But I mean, technically, if like the director or the producer of that movie like
Yeah.
doesn't want them to be doing that, then technically, if they own the rights to that movie, then they couldn't really do anything about it, could they?
Who, or too many pronouns. So if the
Sorry. So if the producer or whoever owns the movie
Mhm.
doesn't want the VidAngel people to be censoring their content,
Sure.
because that is the producers, then I guess technically it would be wrong for them to do that.
Okay. But they bought the movie, right? And then by the Family Entertainment Copyright Act gives people permission to sanitize movies. So
Yeah, but isn't there the little warning before every movie that's
Do not copy.
you're not allowed to
And
copy or sell da da da?
I think it depends.
yeah,
because,
that's copying. Oh, go ahead.
with music and stuff, it's you're allowed to use 30 seconds of any song before it becomes a copyright issue. So I think the same thing for movies is there's a certain amount you're allowed to show, but once it passes that point, then it counts. Even if you change so it's a little more clean and stuff, then I feel even still, the fact that they're making a profit off of them getting this movie to watch for way cheaper than it is normally, if it still has most of the same content, if it's over 50% of the same content, then that is pirating because, I mean, I don't know the
Still
exact
selling
number,
it.
but
Yeah,
definitely
it's
over
still selling
50%.
it.
That's still the movie.
Right.
At least 50%
So then just
of
cut the movie
content.
to whatever time is that.
'Cause,
Like
I mean,
those
you gotta
movies in 5
imagine.
seconds.
You
Or
gotta
just
imagine.
try and filter Deadpool, you're done.
Oh.
Yeah. Most,
You filter Deadpool, you're coming out with literally a 5-minute film.
Yeah. No, it's a song, say a song's 3 minutes long, you can only play 30 seconds of those 3 minutes, which
It's not
is a sixth of it, what, right?
Sure.
Because
Yes.
60 seconds per minute, 3 minutes, so
24 hours.
Of riff
a
tape.
sixth, so a sixth of a song is what you can play, okay? So even if you could play a sixth of a movie with 120 minutes, I don't know what a sixth of that would be,
Well,
20 minutes of a movie then.
right. So I see what you're saying, but I guess a counter here would be that VidAngel actually buys the movies and then sells them.
Yeah, but you don't like he was saying.
Netflix
It
sells
literally
it.
says before most movies it's
not for
it's an
resale.
it's again the FBI.
It's right, and equal
will
to
come
copy
like
or
that.
distribute, but you have sold it. That's different.
Well,
because you've
It's
exchanged the ownership of the movie. Because how is that different than if I bought a movie, watched it for a while, and then sold it to you?
No. It's what was it? I think it said it was different if it's like you bought one copy but sold to multiple people.
No, that's not what's happening here. They make sure that they have only one DVD or Blu-ray per every person that's bought it. Like if too many people buy a certain movie, they will not sell you the movie anymore.
Wait, so they've bought multiple copies?
Oh yeah, they have tons of copies of the movies.
VidAngel?
Yes.
Do you think I know I'm kind of going off topic here, but do you think VidAngel is losing money because of Netflix and Amazon Prime?
No,
I don't like Amazon Prime.
I doubt it. They're only losing money because right now they're not allowed to operate because judge put an injunction on them.
Why is that?
Because Disney and Hollywood sued them and says that they're violating the terms of the agreement.
Why would Disney need to?
Disney has a lot of-
Why would
Disney has a lot of
need to be
power.
censored, though?
No, Disney.
Well, I mean, Disney owns a lot of different theaters. I mean,
That's
different
Like
stuff.
they have so
I
much
mean,
money
so they
that
and
the
Marvel.
copyright used to be 70 years.
And
got
Marvel just
got
got
extended to
it.
90, and they dubbed it the Mickey Mouse
So-
Protection Act because they only wanted to protect
Mickey Mouse. Yeah.
Mickey Mouse.
Right. So to answer your question, there is a DVD or Blu-ray for every person that owns the movie. They're not copying it more than once.
Okay.
So they actually have multiple copies sitting in their vault, so to speak. And when the user's done with it, they sell it back to VidAngel.
Oh.
The reason why
You
this,
don't like Netflix?
huh?
Because you pay for like $10 a month to watch movies.
So is the biggest problem the fact that they're manipulating the?
No, the biggest problem is the fact that they aren't giving you the DVD, they're still streaming it over the internet. You buy the DVD, they're just holding on to the DVD for you and stream it with content filter. The content filtering isn't a problem because of the Family Entertainment and Copyright Act. They've already made an act saying that you are allowed to actually filter your own movies for multiple
So if they like
purposes.
sent a disc that was filtered, then
Did
would
this,
have
yeah,
that
they
problem?
probably would have no legal bounds.
That's
So
dumb.
That is dumb.
the gray
It
area
just
here
saves
is
shipping.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, what's happening is that it's because they're streaming it over the internet as opposed to shipping you the DVD or
So
something.
dumb. Netflix used to ship movies.
Yeah, they did.
They do.
They still do.
Yeah, they do.
But yeah,
Redbox.
Netflix some
Yeah,
of
but
the
they have to
movies-
get the company's permission to put the movie on Netflix.
Yeah, they have they have a strict streaming agreement, yeah, with the company.
So if they got just
These
a
do
streaming
not.
agreement,
They don't
then
have a
it's fine.
streaming agreement because they're
Just
not.
get a freaking streaming agreement.
No one will let them stream.
Yeah.
You can go look, and they've specifically asked all companies for a streaming agreement, and they will all say no because they don't want their content filtered like this. So this is
Just 'cause
basically,
they
if you
don't
go
want
look at the
their
history of this, it's actually interesting, all the things they've tried to do to make this work, and this is really the only thing they have left, is just buy a bunch of DVDs and Blu-rays and sell them to you.
Didn't something? I know I'm going off topic again, but didn't something happen with ISPs?
Okay, recently?
With Comcast, they said you can buy ISPs, and then because of that, corporations can charge you for higher tiers of streaming service for gigabyte usage.
I haven't looked into that.
And it was passed by all Republicans.
Well anyways, back to this.
Yeah, I know I'm going off topic.
Do you think the service is illegal, or do you think it's ethical?
I don't know the answer, but let me get back to you on that.
I also don't think that it's legal because since they're also trying to change the content, like they're changing some of it to make it more family friendly or whatever. At the same time, it's changing what the movie is too a little bit, and that's technically
Yeah,
They should try to
so
sue
the
the
family,
false
like I said, the Family
advertisement.
Entertainment Copyright gives the permission to sanitize movies.
They should try to see what they
How
can
are
do
they
with parody
sanitizing
law.
They will remove, they remove
Yeah, it's
profanity, nudity, and
Parody law is
graphic
the fact that
violence. They just take the scenes out.
I could copy something.
They'll take the scenes
That
out.
cuts a lot
Like,
of movies.
I could
Yeah.
copy a movie
Well,
like
no, it
word for
doesn't,
word.
they don't get rid of the
make
movie, they just get rid of the
funny
scenes with those in it.
and
Yeah.
say it's a
And
parody.
That'll like
and
take
I'm
like a
protected by
3-hour
parody
movie to
law.
like 5 minutes.
And I can't
Well,
be
the
sued
yeah.
because it's not the
Deadpool,
same
yes.
thing, but I'm making fun of it.
But, you know,
This
some
dude
other
made a
movies,
thing called Dumb
you know, like maybe
Starbucks,
cuts
which is literally
5
Starbucks,
minutes
but
most
it's
out of
Yeah.
it.
got dumb in front of it, and he's protected by
Which is
parody
sad,
law.
that really, you know, if
That's
you go from
actually interesting,
PG-13
because I
to
can see
G by
that
taking
being
out
actually
5
use of free
minutes,
speech.
but anyway.
Yeah.
Kind of making fun of things.
Yeah.
So, yeah, question is it illegal or unethical?
Parody laws.
Or should it be unethical? Is really the
Well,
question I'm
right,
asking
that'd be
here.
interesting.
Said they should try to look into parody law.
Parody law? It's not a parody.
Huh?
It's not a parody though.
I know,
Parody
that's the
is
problem.
structures.
They could manipulate the movie a little bit more and then say, oh, it's a parody. But
They hire their own actors. To go
yeah. To
with
do their own
the,
stuff.
no, with the
Remake
voice
the
acting.
movie.
Yeah.
No. They just dub over the new voice actors.
Like
so
the
they
old
get a
Japanese
parody.
movies where they're like, and they're like, yes.
And they just write with new dialogue. Oh, that'd be funny. Oh, that'd be good. I like that.
That's something
That's what
I'll
we
look
should
into.
do.
That's something I'll look into. Computer science doesn't work out, I'll just make my own movies.
Computer
Just
science.
dub in my own.
Do all of the voices
Yeah,
yourself.
do all the voices myself.
All right, so I tried to get something out of y'all, and the answer was no. All right, so you're free to give your own opinion about what you think's right or wrong regarding the way, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, you're free to use the Bible, ACM Code of Ethics, IEEE, and other stuff, or other sites.
Same stuff you gave us last time.
Yeah, I copy and paste that paragraph. I'm not going to write that paragraph again.
He's a programmer.
That's just silly. All right, I'm looking for your ability to create a logical argument, including 3 or more sources. So there you go. In the confines of 2
What's logic?
pages, 12-point double space.
Copy sources from last year.
Wait,
I'm
what's
just gonna
logic?
send in the same exact
Careful, you know.
thing.
Carefully, you don't plagiarize yourself.
If I even read it, wow.
No, that's not the. That's
About
not
the
case. Just,
FBI.
I've already written an ethics paper.
An
Why write
ethics-
another one? You know.
An ethics paper on this, and we wrote an ethics paper on the FBI last year. So.
Yes.
The FBI has nothing to do.
What would
The
be like?
FBI has to do everything.
Never mind. Forget about you. Honestly.
Next.
All right, so Exodus 22:7. If anyone gives a neighbor silver or gold for safekeeping and they are stolen from the neighbor's house, the thief, if caught, must pay back double.
Dang.
An eye for an eye times 2.
In this case, the neighbor is the internet. Stolen from the neighbor's internet holding, the movie, and then you're being a thief, and you should pay back double.
So give them back 2 movies.
Yeah.
Give them back their movie and their copy of like Shrek.
always give back Shrek.
Why are you giving back Shrek?
I don't know where Shrek came from.
All right, and of course, Romans 13:1, let everyone be governed subject to authorities, no authority except which God has established. The authorities exist have been established by God. All right.
Are you recording?
That's a good question. Yes.
Okay.
I never tested to make sure the sound's working.
That's fine. It works every time, right?
Sure.
It's gonna be the one time you didn't check. It's not gonna work.
So it's now what enters the mouth that defiles a man, but what proceeds out of the mouth that defiles a man.
Preach.
What was the last one? Let's see, Luke.
The good person out of the good treasure of his heart produces good, and the evil person out of evil treasure produces evil. For out of the abundance of the heart, his mouth speaks. That's a. I can say a lot about a person's ego.
And of course, we've got the classic ones. Do unto others as you would have them do to you. Don't let unwholesome talk out of your mouths, but only what's helpful for building each other up, so that it may benefit who listens. And of course, everything's permissible, but not everything's beneficial. Not everything's constructive. No one should seek his own good, but the good of others. All right. Good. And I have some references down there.
Copy and paste it. You gave us the references, guys.
My goodness. And of course, you're free to find your own Bible references as well as ACM Code of Ethics and IEEE Code of Ethics. Any questions?
God loved the world so much he sent his only son.
Right.
That
And if
doesn't
you can
really-
link that to piracy, that'd be great.
That'd be interesting.
Oh.
But I don't use the Bible in my ethics papers personally.
It's red versus blue.
That was a funny show.
It's the